Hello. Welcome to Concordia. Just testing out some mods. Messing around with mods while I wait for my laundry to finish. My trip's tomorrow, so actually I'll probably be on at the normal time tomorrow when I get to the hotel. Probably be on the normal time. Mod makes the game quite a bit more fun, but even with the mod, I'm like invincible. I thought the mod would make it so I wouldn't be invincible, but I still am. I wonder if they're gonna do any nerfs in this. I pretty much am invincible. Take a series of unfortunate events to get knocked down even once. Cheat engine build without using the engine. Kill me. Oh, that combo really bad. So I've got two mods. I've got harder difficulty. Also, so they do more damage and they attack more often, so they're less like Muso game peons. It's noticeable how much damage they do and how much they attack. And then also, I have a mod that maxes these Monster Hunter charms out. Because I don't really have anything else to do, so I'm just going for perfect rolls. So these are the max rolls that you can get. Maxes them all out for you. It doesn't really change the... It doesn't change, like, the frequency or the rarity of them. Well, my take on it is they shouldn't nerf anything. They should make the builds more interesting. This game kind of feels like Relink in a way, where you just put the same stuff on everybody for the most part. I mean, there is some variance, but like very little. Which was kind of the problem I had with Relink as well, was that the builds are very boring. Wasn't really an exciting part of getting anything. The problem with this system is just that there's only like a couple good things that can roll on the cartridges, and if it doesn't have those, it's not worth taking. I feel like that's something they should address. They're too random, but they like don't really have anything interesting on them either, so it's like not really fun to get them. They're just kind of there. I definitely think that's one of the flaws of this game. The loot's kind of boring. It's pretty clean cut what you should put on your character and what you shouldn't, depending on what you're doing, and there's not really very many options to really vary from that. It's really sad that like the Team Ninja action RPGs, everybody shits on them because of the graphics and stuff, and they have the best builds. They have the best builds out of any of these games that I've played. Even if you don't like the combat in their games is definitely an acquired taste. It's a lot harder to get into. But the builds are like better in those than anything else. It's like no contest. I wish developers would like play their games, because I'm kind of out of things to do in this game. I'm just playing it for fun. But I've pretty much solved the game. I'm invincible. I've bested slot gear. There's just nothing left to do. Look at that kill combo. Nice. Yeah, I heard about that, the glitched base. The problem with charging up attacks in this game is that your parts can just get broken, and if it puts them in hit stun, if their parts aren't broken, then they just tech out of it frame one. So, I mean, on one hand, it's kind of cool that like the enemies follow the same rules as you do, for when they tech out, but for as much as this game over-tutorializes everything, it never once tells you that it applies to the AI too. Once Lightside in here determined that, I haven't really had any problem with it. I know when to use my big moves and I know when to hold off. Like, how does the game tell you that? It's interesting that the Greatsword is not that great despite being in a game where you can fix the main problem of a slow weapon, but they usually don't attack fast enough to offset, being slower. Alright, let me reword that. You have an option to give yourself double attack speed, so Greatsword should be best in slot, but because this game's balance is messed up, it's not. Kind of unfortunate, really. I think that having a slow weapon, heavy weapon in a game where you can double your attack speed would be god tier, but it's not. That's quite the accomplishment. Imagine if you had a Greatsword and Monster Hunter that have double attack speed. How busted that would be. But somehow, because this game's whack balance. Nope. Another game where the fast weapons kind of just crap all over slow ones. Yet another game that falls prey to that, which is why I almost never use slow weapons. Played countless games where slow weapon is just worse in every way. If that's the kind of playstyle you like, it's it's viable, but the fast weapon is better objectively. That's pretty much how it was in Nioh 2. Odachi couldn't compete with the fists. The fists took a lot of execution to use, but man, if you could get around that, they were OP. Oh boy, another Beam Saber EX. I'm so excited. That's the thing about this game that really disappoints me is like they got rid of the unique weapon stuff from 3, and then their idea of a replacement is just giving you the same move like 50 different times. It's like not even really exciting to max out parts anymore. It's actually quite underwhelming just because you're just getting the same animation. Some of them have slight differences, but the vast majority of them don't. So I'm hoping the DLC will help with that. Hey, please add some unique moves. Don't pull Samurai Warriors 5 and make more characters that just have the same moveset. They desperately need more unique attacks in this game. There's very few. Some of the ones you could even consider unique are just recycled animations, which doesn't help. I think the clone problem in this is worse than Samurai Warriors 5 and Dynasty Warriors 9 just because they're not characters you can just ignore. They're loot you have to keep looking at. Legit sucks. So I'm hoping the new kits that they add will have unique moves and make choosing your moveset should be a lot more interesting in this game, but it actually really isn't. There's only a couple moves worth using, and even then, a lot of them are clones. Like some of them are cloned like 24 times, like the dual beam saber move. There's like 30 different ones of that. I don't know, man. They took out a lot of the really cool, like, flashy animations, and they just kind of give you basic moves that they functionally work, but you get too many of them. Well, I hope this game has a long life. I really like playing it. It's just, it's got so many problems. It's not really fun to get parts. The only real reason to get parts is just to fuse them together and then fashion, if you care about that. Like, most of the stuff you get is it's just another clone move. And for some reason they give them different names. So you get catfished pretty hard. You think you're getting a new move, like too bad. You've got 20 EX moves in your menu that are the exact same thing. You just have different names. They don't even have, like, different properties. I can't escape clone moveset problems even when I don't play Muso. Same shit, different game. Get a lot of the same thing constantly. A lot of people have been complaining about it now that they've gotten farther. I'm like, yeah, it's the main problem with that game is it's just not exciting to get loot. There's too much clone stuff. They could at least, like, take the animation and give it, like, different properties or something. If the DLC has fully unique moves for each new Gundam that they add, I definitely think the game will be a lot more interesting. But there's other stuff that needs to be improved too, namely just how boring the loot is. Very little build variety. The RNG chase items are boring because there's really only two things you look for. You look for cooldown reduction and attack speed. Those are the only things you really look for. And despite how bad the RNG on them is, it's just that there's not many things that can roll on them, so you end up with it anyway. Player base is already dropped on PC like a ton. It's already down to like 3/4 of what it was last week. So I hope they don't take forever to put out the DLC. Even just like adding more stuff on the ability cartridges would give people something to look for. I think they should definitely run that game like they run this game. Like this game got some pretty bad news. The meta progression update for this got pushed back to next year. But the silver lining is that they're going to add more legendaries. So there'll still be stuff to do. It's just content-wise, we're not getting anything for a while. But I actually kind of like how they run this game. I can totally understand as somebody who's beta tested games and stuff that like it's hard to make pixel art of this quality. At least they're adding something. I've played early access games a lot worse than this. It's like they're aware of the issues, but I don't really think they have the manpower to turn out stuff super quick. The next update's supposed to be sometime this month. It's supposed to be more legendaries. Be cool. I'm already ready for that because I have so many rares. I don't really know how much of a cash grab it can be when the stuff that's in the game is already feels like a cash grab. We have 250 Gundam kits, but there's like no moves. You have so few options to really make your own playstyle because most of the moves are like identical. I think what makes it worse is that it clutters the menu as well. The menu in that game is insanely cluttered. It's got like the worst clutter I've seen in a somewhat high-profile game like that. I've legit played indie games that have less clutter than that game. Why are there like 20 different things called Beam Saber when they're the exact same animation? Makes no sense, man. Like, just have one. And like, if another Gundam has that same move, it should like increase the stats or properties or something. Then it would at least be somewhat interesting. You'd still be grinding for the same move, which is not interesting. But at least there'd be some kind of benefit. After I finish this run, whether it dies or I finish it, I'll go ahead and I'll show you how bad the clutter gets in that game after you've been playing it for like 20 hours. Oh, this game or Dragon is Dead? This game or Dragon is Dead? What roadmap? I don't know, I've had a lot of fun playing it, and community has been coming out in droves supporting my videos, so I'm thankful for that. I wasn't expecting to get like 20,000 views off those videos, so I'm happy with that. The community is nice. Definitely one of the better communities I've made content for, so that's cool. Some communities do a really good job of pushing me away, and they haven't. Relink community was a community I kind of bailed on. I abandoned that community quick because people were really weird about using mods, saying people that use mods are the problem. I'm like, no, the game design is a problem. You've got a gacha grind with no pity system. It's worse than a gacha, and you guys are making mods to autoplay the game. Like, just fucking cheat it. But yeah, I know Gundam videos will do well because a lot of big content creators aren't going to stick around for the updates unless they churn them out like super fast. Got about 30 hours of content. Isn't bad. I just wish what was there was better designed. "30 hours of content with like no padding or filler is actually not bad these days, despite what people might say." It's 30 hours of like pure gameplay. I didn't watch any of the cutscenes. 30 hours of just pure gameplay, no filler, no padding. That part's nice. Just the RPG element of it is really weak. I don't know what it is, man, but like nobody can make loot as good as Team Ninja. Team Ninja gets so much flack for like, oh, this is Dark Souls but worse, which is false. The combat in all their games is better than anything FromSoft has ever done. And people complain about the loot. Like, yeah, there's a lot of it, but there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with it. I don't mind excessive amounts of loot if there's cool things that I can do with it, and it doesn't feel pointless. But that's often how loot games go. It's either like Borderlands or like Team Ninja tier, like actual good stuff to chase for, or it's like Gundam Breaker, where the loot might as well like not really be there. Loot in Gundam seems really interesting at the start, but then it gets very just flat. Kind of really gutted build diversity in Breaker 4 compared to 3. No, I definitely agree. That's just a problem with season passes in general. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. You know, if you don't tell people what's in it, then they're skeptical that like it's gonna be worth the money. But then if you tell them what's in it and you show a lot of gameplay, then you get pretty fair accusations of like, this shit is already done. You know, why isn't it in the base game? And I think the thing with Gundam that's going to hurt it in particular is the fact that the game already has so much recycled stuff from 3. And they took out a lot of the interesting stuff from 3 too, so they have their work cut out for them for sure. I know I'm going to be pissed when the DLC drops and they have more recycled moves in the game. Like those Gundams that better have completely unique movesets. No recycled moves at all because there's way too many. There's an insane amount of recycled stuff in that game. Really hope they're not going to pull a Fire Emblem Warriors and charge us for more clone moves. Ball's in their court. I hope that they're not going to do that, but I definitely think there's a concerningly high chance that they will. Okay, here's that same Beam Saber move again for the 15th time. You gotta buy a season pass for it. Fuck out of here with that, man. If Breaker 4 gets as much, even half the content that Xenoverse 2 has gotten, then all our problems will be solved. But it's hard to tell. It seems like it did pretty well. It just needs a lot of stuff. It needs more in-game content, more interesting things to put on the build, more chase items. More of an actual moveset to look for instead of just the same move again. It needs a lot. Anyone's guess if it's actually going to get it. I'll try to make a review tonight. I don't know if I'll have time because I gotta pack for my trip. I'll try to. No promises. For niche action games this month, there's Breaker 4, there's Reinatis, Mameda no Bakeru just came out. What else is there? Reinatis at the end of the month, which I'll be covering that game. In case anyone's curious about that one, I'll be playing that. Pretty much what there is to buy this month if you like action games. I don't know if I'll be able to do FF16 because of this trip. It depends if I get donations and stuff. I think mod videos for that game will probably do pretty well. Might make the investment back. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be right back. I gotta put my clothes in the dryer. Give me a minute here. Dust Diver 2 is a underrated action game. Kind of starts off not that great, but it actually was really good. Problem with Ray Natus is that it looks like that, and it's also like $60. So I really don't know what they're smoking to think that that's going to go over very well. $60 for that game is real steep. That's more than most people would pay for something like that. Can't expect people to like be super excited for a game that looks like a lost PSP or 3DS game and have it be like AAA price. I think some people will play it, but probably when it's like half off. I don't really care about graphics that much. I'm more into performance and gameplay more than graphics, but the price is definitely steep. I don't think anybody can deny that. For how it looks. I don't really think the game has a ton of content either, so that's not helping things. I wasn't really able to find any high-level gameplay, but I guess I'll be the guinea pig this time. I might be able to get a review key for it. I doubt there's going to be much demand for that game compared to other stuff. Probably not going to be many people applying for a key like that unless they're really just looking for a filler game for their channel. Should be able to get the hookup, hopefully. We'll see. I was going to get it either way. Mostly just because I think it's from the same team that did Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes, which is another underrated action game. Doesn't get enough attention. I covered on the channel. Might do another playthrough of that for prepare for Ray Natus. Depends on what else is going on. Games doing well is kind of just a crapshoot right now. Look at Concord. Concord couldn't even make it 2 weeks. Concord had so many money in marketing and couldn't even make it 2 weeks. The thing about smaller games like that, though, is that they don't spend, like, ridiculous amounts of money on marketing, so they can make their money back. They're not putting the game on every Twitch ad and on buses and shit, and on Times Square and everything. They're not doing anything like that, so it's anyone's guess. Some people are saying that game's gonna come back free to play. I highly doubt it. There's no guarantee that making that game free is gonna get people to play it. I actually think it's a pretty low chance. The thing about that game is so messed up is that, like, it's not just the character designs or the fact that it's, you know, not free. It's a bunch of things. That's why that game failed. You see everybody saying, oh, it's because the game is woke. It's like, yeah, the character designs suck, but I get tired of hearing the word woke. It's starting to not mean anything anymore. Like, look, just because there's a dark-skinned person in the game doesn't mean that it's woke. There's been so much argument about that game. I'm like, it's just a number of things, like, a lot of things that went wrong. The character designs, yes, are pretty crappy, but they're not the reason why it flopped. I remember in my stream, I can tell you the problem with that game is it had an interesting premise. The State of Play trailer for that, some people were interested in it, watching it, and then everybody said the same thing. It's another hero shooter that's gonna die in a month. And everybody was right. It didn't even make it a month. It didn't even make it 2 weeks. It made it 10 days. The other thing about that game is, like, trying to make, like, the main reason to play story, I don't think was a very good idea. They tried that with Overwatch and it didn't really work either. It's like, just the way that a hero shooter works makes it hard to care. How do you, like, build relationships and stuff and the characters are just going to be shooting each other to death? You could argue the same thing about Mortal Kombat, but they pull it off a lot better somehow. Don't ask me how they do it. Concord is also a victim of how long it takes to make games. You try to chase a trend, there's no guarantee that the trend will even still be around by the time the game is done. I mean, some stuff is a safe bet, like, you know, if you start on a Souls clone right now, by the time it comes out, it'll probably still have a chance of doing well, but hero shooters have been on a relative decline for a while. Deadlock is doing pretty well, but I don't know, Team Fortress 2 was really big for a while, and then they fucked it up with updates. So nothing's guaranteed. The game's got a good start for sure, but I don't know. Some people that think that when they added hats to Team Fortress that it killed the game. One of which is my real life friend. He actively hates when they added the hats and stuff. That could totally happen to Deadlock too. Really popular and then just kind of declined. I think the worst thing about Concord was like I actually didn't need as much of a player base as other hero shooters because I think it was only 5-on-5. So it still takes 5 times as many people to start a match as a fighting game, but even that was not enough. What kills battle royales, that's why battle royales have kind of died out, because you need like a couple dozen people to start a match. To even start playing, you need a ton of people. Whereas a fighting game, you only need 2. And even that didn't help. That game was just cooked from the start. Naraka Blade Point is kind of an interesting one because it actually does have players, but the problem is the ping and stuff is a really big problem when it's melee. It's melee based and not really involving guns as a primary focus. Around this time every night, it's got like tens of thousands of players, but they're all in Asia, so you can't play with them. And if you play over here in America, you have like 20-minute wait times. The queue time's like 20 minutes. Gotta know about that, man. I kind of liked it. I thought maybe I would be like the only battle royale I would like because it's melee combat, but I see people play that game at a high level and like most of their stream is waiting for a match. Man, I'm not bothering with that. Play random games like this and not have to beg people to play or wait for peak hours. Got too greedy. No, I didn't play Border Breaker. I know of it from PSO2. They did a collab in that game. He fought the big robot from it. thing about arcade games like that is they want to keep a real strong arm on it because arcades are dying, even in Japan.
規則正しい生活だと人は錆びちまうぜ。つまんねえな。でもまあ、毎日お前のそばにいるなら、
That's why they won't port Gundam to PC. They won't port Gundam to PC. Problem is that they gave us Extreme Versus on PS4, but then they stopped updating it, so it's kind of pointless. Cool, thanks, I guess. Yeah, they're really trying to keep a stronghold on the few arcade games that are left. Like, mega desperate.
Watashi no ugokiをしっかり見て、きちんと合わせなさい。
The moment they put Gundam on PC or console, arcades are cooked. Wait, my controls aren't working. What the hell? Yeah, fix that really quick. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good now? That's weird. Easy fix, though. Well, arcades are pretty much kept alive by Extreme Versus. Everybody's like, why don't they port it? I'm like, I'll tell you why. Because arcades were already on the decline before the pandemic. They were on a decline before the pandemic, but the pandemic did a really bad number on them. Extreme Versus is like one of the few things outside of like rhythm games and stuff that you can't just play at home. Well, no, that's not true. Konami has a thing with rhythm games. Some of them where you can pay to play at home on a PC client. but it's basically like a microtransaction every time that you play. Now, Extreme Versus, legally you cannot play that game. Cannot play that game at home. It's the main thing that's keeping their arcades alive, because everything else has moved to console or PC. Arcade games aren't even getting ported anymore.
あいつらを切り裂くすねあいつらを切り裂く獲物逃げなさい逃げなさいその程度の抵抗なき風より解かれし力我が刃と化せ生死を分けるのは歯応えない情けないよ宿命の風は私が断ち切る風より解かれし力我が刃と化せ生死を情けないよ楽しんでくるとする次に向かうわよこの勝利が終幕ではないわ
I mean, there's ways to play Extreme Versus, but it's illegal and also highly complicated, so ignoring the fact that it's illegal, most people won't be bothered to do it. there are ways. I couldn't elaborate even if I could, because I don't know how they do it either, but they found some way to like emulate the PC that Extreme Versus runs on. So some of the real hardcore Gundam fans are doing that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding why they don't port it. Because their arcade business completely depends on it. The moment that game's on PC, rip the arcades, they're gone. And pretty much as soon as like Tekken 7 didn't get the DLC characters until later, that was one of the things that really helped kill arcades. There wasn't really a reason to go anymore, and there was more arcades and more updates at home.
獲物の匂いがするあなたはここへ逃げるのうわーわかった生きたままにする
Let me check on my clothes. I'll be right back. What game on ads? I don't run ads. Did you get an advertisement? I don't run any ads on my stuff. I don't run any ads. If it doesn't, I don't control it. I don't run any ads because they pay like shit. All they do is make it so people can't watch without getting I don't know, a Concord ad or something. Whatever the hell they advertise. Yeah, I don't run ads. Free content. If they paid us more than like 2 cents per ad, then maybe I would run them. Because I do need the money, but they pay like shit, so I don't bother. It's alienating the viewer base, and I don't get anything out of it. Alright, folks, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later.